Obviously, we lost an awesome actor in Dylan. It's sad, but I'm really glad that Degrassi decided to tackle this topic.
I think it was like a long time coming that they wanted to do something like this. I liked that they took the time to find the right person to do it. The people who make the show did this because they care so much
Absolutely.
about everyone and youth in general and how this affects people.
That's really the reason Degrassi was started. I feel like a lot of pride saying that, I watch a show that has always been based in telling stories that are true, raw, and emotional, and, kind of describe what the youth of today is going through.
This episode especially reminded me of the fact that they were going back to the more issue-based episodes. This really reminded me of, like, classic, like, Degrassi Junior High. So much more educational, but still so much more, like, artistic than the show has ever been. They've really found a really great balance in this season between those two elements.
I especially enjoyed their different portrayals of grief within each different character that we got, a chance to see during the episode. I don't think anyone grieves exactly the same way, so we got from anybody who feels, a tremendous amount of guilt to, denial, numbness, basically all the different stages of grief that you can go through have really been, started and touched upon in the second part of this episode.
Even when we were watching it, like, we would see how someone like Becky would react, and even though that would personally make us angry because of who we are as people, at the same time, we're still able to really appreciate everyone's different way of coping. And I think the really cool part was Maya's whole reaction, and I think that's gonna just open up an entire new can of worms for her character development. It wasn't sort of this whole grieving, woe is me, feel sorry for me, but it was completely the opposite, and I loved that it was played that way.
I think we're going to see a lot of character development from this incident with Dallas, who,
so good.
What a stellar performance. I can only imagine trying to portray that. Hi, Cats. I thought the roof scene was just ridiculously good. And having Fiona come up, you got to see someone try and save someone else. Get the help that Cam could not.
A few seasons back, Fiona had a moment on the roof. Remember?
Yeah, that's true.
When she was, going a little psycho. So I think that kind of came full circle for Fiona.
Yeah, that's like, it was really the perfect person to go up there and remind him that he has something to live for, which, who knows, we're hearing a lot of speculations, could be his son. This child that we see come up.
A lot of you guys were sort of wondering why Degrassi didn't choose to show us the graphic visual death of Cam. We came to the conclusion that it was really important for them to not stray away from the importance of the message in showing us, like, this sort of violent image, but to really get the message out there that, this is an important issue that kids do deal with all the time, and that it's something that isn't to be taken lightly, and it's something to be sensitive about. I like the fact that we didn't see that image, not only for the fact that that would have killed me.
Yeah, it really would have been too awful to handle.
Also just for the fact that it didn't bring us too far away from the importance of the plot.
I think that makes it easier for people to connect with the incident. So many people know friends, family members who have either, attempted suicide or have taken their own life, and I think that it strikes a different nerve to not know exactly what happened, that, it happened, and that's all you really need to know.
This is the day after the episode, and it didn't really hit me until today when I realized, wow, the character Cam is not coming back. But I was able to find peace with it in the fact that I feel like his character serves the purpose of what Degrassi does, and that's reaching out to young people. And I just think that was great.
I think it was brilliant. I think they couldn't have picked a better person to come in and, give Cam a real, true portrayal. Timing was perfect for this kind of a plot. And I think that the writers and the staff and everyone at Epitome it was such a smart idea to wait till this moment and it felt like the right time to bring up this issue on Degrassi now.
This episode, it was really like a perfect taste. Like, we still had humor, we still had grief, we still had possible subplots that might arise along the way, and it was still so artistic at the same time. Like, the use of music in this episode was excellent. I thought the montages of seeing people grieving was excellent, and it was just like perfectly done in a way that wasn't overkill and didn't feel like cheesy at all.
No, it didn't feel like it was just because it was a TV show. It felt like it was the right thing to happen for this situation.
And then we had Jake on roller skates.
And he had oven mitts on.
So funny.
Dude, Jake just lights up a room. He really, really needed it.
I think we're gonna see some bad things going on with Eli next week.
I mean, and how could you not? I mean, he's already lost someone who he loved, and now to stumble across someone that he really didn't know.
I just want to scream, like, why did you have to do this to him?
Yeah.
Like, you know this is going to affect him so badly.
I know.
And he's already so sensitive to this sort of topic that this is just absolutely going to, like, annihilate him.
It was great that we got to see how suicide affects people that you're close to, that you sort of know, that maybe you should have been nicer to, and the people that you really didn't know. Eli is going to go through so much, and he really didn't have a close connection with Cam at all.
When we were first watching the episode, I think I was saying, like, oh, Dave, like, you're so stupid, why are you talking like that? It could have seemed insensitive to some people, I think, but I think it was really important for those characters to interact with Eli because you really got that first taste of how it's going to affect him in the future.
It was so honest. I mean, that's like the same thing as people saying, like, well, I wanted to see what had happened to Cam. That's kind of what Dave was talking about. He was asking Eli details, and maybe to some people that's gross, that's eerie, you don't want to talk about it, but some people that might be kind of an important process in understanding, you know, what happened to someone.
This kind of episode, it was really nice for us and actually this is our 101 video blog that we've been doing, and I, like, can't believe we've made that many videos since we've been doing this since season 10.
It doesn't feel like that, but...
Yeah, but especially from our perspective, like, this kind of plot, everyone who was involved in Degrassi in any way was reaching out to people from all sorts of ways and, like, making sure that everybody was okay and everybody was comfortable, and I thought that really spoke volumes to the whole reason behind the show. I just thought that was wonderful.
It was a beautiful thing. I felt very close to the whole community of everyone who watches Degrassi, who's a part of Degrassi. It was honestly, for such a sad episode, like a really touching experience.
They released behind the scenes clips. It was really, really nice because as soon as you find out, like, especially, you know, when we lost JT, like, the first thing you always think of is, like, oh my god, what was that like when everybody was reading through the script for the very first time? And I really love that they took the time to say this is what the fans are really going to want to know and what they're going to want to see.
And they had it ready. They knew we would, you know, really want to see something like that. And it was fantastic. If you haven't watched the videos yet, please do, because it is great to hear the cast talk about this too. He's just giving me the look like, I know what you're feeling right now.
But aside from our sort of sappy mappiness of this episode, kind of nervous for Eli in the next upcoming episode.
Obviously see who's coming up too. I don't want to take it there, but I'm gonna.
A friend of mine, her name is Kelly, we were sort of debriefing our Degrassi feelings this afternoon, and she brought up this really funny thing, and I was saying how in our last vlog, Taylor said, oh my god, Eli's gonna be, like, too traumatized, and then Claire's not gonna do it, and we're really upset about that. And my friend Kelly made the point that if he were to sleep with Claire, Claire would die.
Eli's the bringer of death.
So basically, this is the line of death for Eli. He dated Julia, slept with Julia, Julia died. He dated Claire, crashed his car. They weren't quite there yet, so it was like almost death, not quite. Dates Imogen, her dog dies. And also his mom is God knows where. Yeah. So basically...
You do the deed, you seal your own fate there, I guess, is what she's trying to say.
This is the theory, so...
I'm gonna tune that out.
So we had to interject, like, our perverted thoughts into the whole
Because what would this be? What would this be without them?
Yeah.
Eli and Jake talking, and Jake says, like, oh, I wonder if the the garden or whatever is going to be haunted, and Eli goes, no, just me. I gotta say, Monroe delivered that line so perfectly. It didn't come off as, like, no, just me. Like, it wasn't over the top.
No.
It was just subtle enough that, like, it was real. He was saying it almost as just like a side comment, but you could feel like what was underneath that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're gonna see how he's really haunted in these next couple episodes.
Claire embrace, like, even it was such a shocking and terrifying moment, but even that little piece of it makes it that much. It's just like literally the perfect combination of things. It's like,
it was like the right amount of layers, and just everything was right in the right place for this episode to happen. Big Sister Katie was great too. Gotta give props to her. Maya needed her. She was right where she needed to be the whole time.
Definitely loved Chloe's reaction that you see in the read-through at Epitome. I loved that. Everybody in that room seems so honest about everything that they're doing. I just love it. I can't get enough.
The Tori and Maya friendship thing.
First watching the episode and I saw them hugging, and I remember my face just sort of fell because I sort of felt disgusted by it. It was almost like this elicited her wanting to be her friend again. Like, it took that much of a problem. Then I realized it was like the very first moment where Maya really started to like take down the wall and show emotion.
Yeah, she needs Tori at this time. There could be no better time for them to really just throw the old fights aside and decide, you know, friendship is more important right now because you never know who you're going to lose. I think that was a great way to bring them back.
And I never want to see Tori and Tristan crying ever again.
Two beautiful people crying, just,
it was the saddest thing I've ever seen in my life. The entire montage of Simpson, like, saying that Cam is gone, all of the scenes in between that are perfect, and it's like, it might even be a few seconds, and it's just like amazing.
And I'm really excited because I hear that Simpson will be talking to Eli, or there's going to be some kind of connection between them, because in Degrassi High, Simpson is the one that finds Claude.
I love that. And
it just comes full circle, and I think it's a really great way to tie in continuity, and also to have someone to talk to for Eli. That's going to be, you know, so important. Yay to Ramona. I just haven't said it yet, and I just want to. Like,
all the writers. So good.
What a great team. That's like the dream team. If one day my life was ever interesting enough to have it be written, those are the people that I want writing my life.
I just feel like everything that they do, they take it so much to heart.
Yeah, they walk like this great balance between, you know, pushing, you know, real issues and still bringing this, you know, really entertaining TV show to life.
Excited to see how this episode really begins the new journey of Degrassi and people who attend the school, and how this is going to affect everyone in different ways.
I think we're going to learn something here, and we're going to see a lot of growth. After an episode like that, Teen Nick really needed to do some breathing exercises with us and then let us see the promo. It should have been like a thing that said, excuse me, we know you've just seen the worst episode of your life. You're all very sad right now, so take a deep breath. Here's a picture of Claire, and now here's the promo.
Like, this week, I was just like, my heart was heavy, my legs weren't moving. Next week, I feel like there's going to be some screaming and some hair pulling.
Oh, absolutely. So, whenever there's paint and possible drugs involved, you know there's going to be screaming.
And possible...
No. 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 We don't go there, my friends. We don't go there. Say what you will. It's not happening.
And possible Claire tampering.
No.
Could be. Who knows?
I know.
Yes, it
could.
That's all, folks.
That's its cattail.
We'll see you next time. Don't be sad. Be glad.
Yeah. Love each other.
Yes.